Ooh, dark. Good morning, YouTube. Today is a very exciting day. I always sit down because otherwise I feel like I'm kind of... We are going to Walmart to pick up our Christmas cards. We got an alert that they're ready. The printer must be fixed. And we are, after that, going to US Cellular because I am going to get my smartphone turned on again. For those of you, you probably don't know, because why would you know? I don't know if I've ever talked about it. I actually have a flip phone. I have... one of these bad boys, and I do love it and I've really enjoyed having it, but it's time to go back to a smartphone. I obviously had one before and that's just kind of been deactivated, so when I'm home with Wi-Fi it works exactly the same as it would otherwise, except I just can't call and text off of it, and I just use this to do that. So that way when I'm out and about I don't have a smartphone on me, and it's been nice. It definitely was a refresher that I needed. I didn't have a smartphone until I was like 22 though, so I only had a smartphone for 2 years before I went back without. I have kind of an addictive nature, I guess, and so I mean it's no different than everyone else, but just I hate being on my phone in public. Like I hate, you know, being at dinner. I sound like such a curmudgeon. Like I just personally have found I'm a lot happier if I do engage with my surroundings instead of constantly on social media, basically. That's not me saying one is better than the other, but just like personally it does affect me, and so I do try and pull back. Anyway, however, this is old. Very old. I actually got it off of eBay for like $50, so they do have a little bit of value if you have one of these sitting in your closet somewhere. However, the battery is shot. It happened a few days ago, and I just took that kind of as a sign that maybe it's time to update. But yeah, the battery lasts like maybe an hour before it starts to go down again, and if I make a phone call for like 10 minutes, the battery's already dead, so it's time. So that's what we're doing. Gonna go pick up our Christmas cards. I'm excited to see them. My hair's still wet, but what are you gonna do? Are you excited, Zach? Very excited. And US Cellular is, for those of you who don't know, which is gonna be like 99% of my viewers, it's a cell phone company that is predominantly in New England, but like Maine and New Hampshire, and then I think it's also like somewhere out west. But it's very small. Well, not very, but pretty small. But a lot of people in Maine have them because we don't get much cell service, but for some reason US Cellular is kind of taken over in Maine, and so we actually have a lot of those towers, and like things like Verizon, AT&T actually don't have that good of reception up there. So they've taken over the state. And US Cellular used to have a lot of really good deals. Like you could get free call and text with other US Cellular people, but now it's kind of, I feel like every cell phone has very similar plans now that it doesn't, there's really not one advantage over the other except for service. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say about that because I just bored myself, so let's go. And we're back. I've actually been back for a little while, but I kind of forgot to film again. Got my phone completely set up, so this is now officially a phone again. I got a pop socket. I don't know if I've shown this. Isn't this so cool? Oh, I love it. I love it, love it. Oops. Love it. I've been playing with it absolutely non-stop. I can tell I'm probably gonna wear it out, and I'm gonna have to order like 20 more of these. So today was one of those weekend days that definitely went by way too fast. Walmart took forever to get the photos. We actually had kind of an unpleasant experience. The lady at the customer service desk was quite rude. I mean, I totally understand that it's a stressful time, especially I'm sure with the printer not working yesterday. There's probably been plenty of angry customers, but at the same time I was like making sure to be overly nice to her because I know that it probably had been stressful, and she was like really mean to me. I don't think I'll be going back there just because I don't know, like first of all it took her forever to find the photos, which I thought was kind of odd considering like I knew where they were because I had seen someone else pick up the photos before, but she kind of just went in the back, and it was a little bit weird. I think she was probably a temporary like seasonal worker, so maybe she just didn't know as much, but she was definitely not in a hurry. She just sauntered in the back, sauntered over to the photo thing, and I was so afraid she was going to tell me she couldn't find them and then just like leave it at that, because I would have been like, well, I know they printed because I got an email. Like it was thankfully she did find them, and then she like didn't know the price of them, and I had to like look up the order myself to let her know the dimensions of them, and like it was just weird. Oh, and with the pricing, she had she like gave me an extra charge because she was trying to figure out the pricing gun, and she like clicked on another photo, and so there was a very small charge. It was 44 cents. Very, very small, but there was 3 charges instead of the 2 I was supposed to have. And so I kind of pointed out just because, I don't know, my experience had been kind of unpleasant. Even though it was 44 cents, I just did not feel like paying more than I was supposed to pay. And so I was like, oh, I think there's actually an extra charge on there. And she goes, yeah, that's the tax. And I was like, oh. And then I kind of looked at it, but it clearly wasn't the tax because it says when it's the tax. And I was like, and the card hadn't been run yet, so it's not like I was like doing this after the fact. I was like, oh, I don't know, because it says like it's a different item listed. And she just kind of looked at it. She's like, and then she goes, oh. And then she sees it and like rolls her eyes and takes it off. And afterwards, like, I ran my car and I was like, okay, thank you. And she just didn't say anything. So it was so awkward. And we left there quickly after. I was gonna buy more things, but I was just like, let's just get out of here. This is uncomfortable. So I won't be going back to that. I had been so excited to find really cheap Christmas cards, and it just wasn't worth it. It was supposed to be, that's the other thing, it was supposed to be like 1 hour same day pickup, and it ended up, like when I did it, it gave me an estimate 5 hours later. I'm like, that's weird. And I was like, well, you know what, it's the holidays, like I get if they're busier than normal, whatever, what are you gonna do? And it wasn't ready for like 20 hours because it was the next day. I didn't get it ready. And like I said, the printer was down, but still, it was just weird, and like there was no compensation, no apologies for, I don't know. The whole thing was weird. It was weird. And I don't mean to sound entitled or anything. Like, I work in customer service, I get it. But just, even a small apology and just maybe, I don't know, something. I think what irritated me is I was being so nice and like trying to make it, you know, her feel better, and I just was getting nothing in return. So I was like, okay, alrighty. This was our day. Came back. I actually been editing. It took me forever to edit my brother's videos. I'm really sorry. By the time you see this, it's gonna be a few more videos later, but I'm really sorry for the shaky quality. That's the way he filmed it. I can't explain it. So Saturday, that definitely went by way too fast, as all Saturdays seem to do. And then tomorrow we are actually going to do something super Christmassy. We are going with Zach's family to pick out a Christmas tree, cut one down, do the whole thing. So that's gonna be really fun and exciting, and I'll definitely take you guys along for that. And it's a really big Patriots game, so Zach actually is really nervous about it. I've never seen him so worked out about a sporting event. He like talked about it all day today, how nervous he was. He's doing fantasy football for the first time too, so I think he has a lot riding on this one. So it's funny to see how worked up he gets. Alright guys, I will see you tomorrow. Bye.